Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the third day of Anesthesia Week. So we had a very good, successful 2 days, but today being a very festive day, we are starting a little early because I think to spare some time, whosoever wants to go to the ground to observe the rituals of real Dussehra. And today there are 2, 3 programs lined up. So I request Dr. Diveta sir to start the proceedings.
Good evening and welcome everyone and for joining today. Happy Dashera to everyone. Today is a very festive day and it's also a great auspicious day to launch new programs. And today we've got the launch of some very innovative initiatives by our Dynamic Secretary, Dr. Bajwa. One will be the podcasts and then there'll be some online UA crisp and clip things. So today is day 3 of the ISA week. So let's go on straight ahead. Dr. Bajwa.
Thank you, sir. So for the first program to be launched today is the inauguration of ISA podcast. I think the need for the podcast is very important. Everything about ISA should be known to almost every member of the ISA, and we are going to start this series. And there are program heads, Dr. Rekha, Dr. Manisha, Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy, and they will be the managing this podcast series. So straight away, without wasting time, I request Dr. Manisha to take over from here to at least launch the first program. Unmute yourself, Dr. Manisha.
Yeah. Thank you, Secretary Sir, respected Academic Chair, Dr. Bhimeshwar Sir, respected President, Dr. Diwatiya Sir. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So today we are going to launch this ISA podcast series number 1. We decided about this podcast series in our governing council meeting, and then we decided to launch various podcast series. And today is the beginning of this. Under the able guidance of Dr. Diwatiya Sir, Dr. Bajwa Sir, Dr. Manoj Kumar, Dr. Rekha Das, myself and Dr. Ramakrishna Reddy will be planning future podcast series, which will be discussing various topics or various issues that are related to ISA that every ISA member should know. As Dr. Rakesh Garg sir mentioned yesterday, it is a simple technological tool that can be used to make all the members aware about ISA and ISA activities. It is a useful tool to disseminate information about our association, and it is a convenient way. Anyone can listen to this podcast series at their own leisure time. They can hear directly from the leaders of the ISA. We are going to involve all the 5 Ps which our respected President Dr. Diwatiya sir has mentioned, that he wants to make these 5 Ps popular amongst the anesthesiologists. The
Dr.
professional
Manisha, the slides are not moving.
Slides are not moving.
Yeah. Shall I share from my screen?
Manisha, just stop sharing and restart.
Yeah, I'll just see.
Shall I share from my screen?
I'll just check once. Can you see now?
Yeah, better.
Move it forward.
Next one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
it's moving.
Okay. So we are going to basically discuss these 5 themes which Dr. Diwatiya wanted to popularize amongst all anesthesiologists. These are professional satisfaction, patient safety, personal wellness, planet safety, and professional excellence. So all the future webinar series or the podcast series will be based on all these 5 Ps, which will highlight all the ISS sponsored CMEs, highlight the special academic and unique activities of various city branches and state branches, will highlight scientific programs of our ISA conferences, highlight the simulation program of ISA, social media awareness about various artificial intelligence and other things. We can popularize our ISA guidelines amongst all our members. We can also popularize various non-academic activities like vision for health, good nutritional tips, spirituality. We can include stress vaporizer series in our podcast series, personal empowerment series, fitness and exercises for anesthesiologists, and stress relief series like work-life balance. So we will be including all these various issues or various topics amongst our ISA podcast series. And today we are starting this ISA podcast series with it will be not actually an audio podcast, but we will be discussing various things what our president sir and secretary sir wants to have for us all of our members, and what is their vision and mission for our ISA. So can I start, sir, president sir?
Please, please.
Yeah. So my first question to Dr. Divatia sir, what is being a president of this August association mean to you? What made you think of leading our association as a president? And please enlighten us about the leadership journey and your vision for ISA.
Okay, so thank you, Manisha. Now that's a handful of questions. Uh, so the first part was, what does it feel like to be a president of the ISA? And I think the one, apart from feeling honor and apart from feeling proud to be the president of such a great association, is actually one of being a little scared. Because there are lots of expectations for people, and they are not just ordinary people. They are all highly qualified professionals, and they come from various backgrounds. Some are great academicians in medical colleges, and then there are freelance practitioners in corporate hospitals. There are private practitioners who work in small nursing homes in remote areas of the country. So everyone has different needs and everyone has different expectations. And there are PG students, so it's difficult to fulfill the needs or meet the expectations of such a vast diversity of members. So, once you do something and then someone else feels left out, you want to do something for someone, but you just don't have that much time in the day or that much time in your term to try and meet everyone's expectations. So that's that one. This thing is, but I think when you are a little stressed and when you're a little scared, and when you have a great team with the governing council and you're working on the background of the previous councils and presidents and secretaries, I think you get driven and you do feel motivated to do things, and things do get done because we are working with such a great team. So I think that's an important thing of working with the ISA governing council. So my first entry into the ISA governing council was when I became the editor-in-chief. Till then, I resisted getting into any kind of electoral politics in the ISA. And Bhimeshwar sir and others, my apologies, but ISA politics did not have a great reputation 10, 15, 20 years ago. And I was extremely reluctant to get into politics, even to become the editor, which was something which I resonated with, being from an activist and wanting to do edit a prestigious journal like the IJ. But some of my friends, they did convince me to stand for elections. I won. And then when I got into the council, realized that there are so many good people wanting to do so many good things, and they were doing many good things. And I think the image that that the ISA had of people doing nothing and just loafing around and enjoying the perks and privileges was all nonsense. In fact, there were very hardworking people, very well-meaning people, highly motivated individuals who wanted to do something for the association, in their own way. And I have the fortunate being 4 years in the council, 1 year extended because of COVID. That I worked with many presidents and secretaries and other members, and it was a great experience. So then, as a matter of natural progression, someone said, okay, now you can stand for president. So I said, okay, let's stand for president. And of course, we want to do things. We want to take the society forward. And we wanted to make some structural reforms in the society. We wanted to make sure that things move forward, that society becomes financially more viable. Not that it is not viable now, but we want to make it more viable. So there are many things that came to mind that we should do. And you mentioned the 5 Ps, no? So we sort of crystallized all that not all, but many of the things we wanted to do into this 5 Ps. So first 2 Ps are patient safety, and that is linked to professional excellence. And we can't be safe for our patients unless we are good professionally. For that, starting from PG days, webinars, so many online, offline resources, conferences, the ISA fellowships. Okay, then you've got so many conferences. The ISA sponsors PG assemblies. The ISA sponsors CMEs in various parts of the country. So they give a platform for people to learn and for people to teach also, and there are so many medals and prizes that the ISA gives. You've got guidelines. So all that counts towards professional excellence and therefore patient safety. But I think a very important aspect which we need to really work on is professional satisfaction. And I think one of the common themes which I have seen and heard, whenever you meet practitioners, especially in smaller towns and cities, is that anesthesiologists are not paid well, they are not treated well, they are, and uh, generally they are not satisfied with their working conditions, the way they have to deal with surgeons and so on and so forth. So I think we need to really work on that part. And therefore, our private practitioner forum is there for that. We're going to bring out some position statement on that in the next couple of days. But I think very importantly, I think we would say that the functional unit, like the cell in the human body, the functional unit of the ISA is the city branch. And I would really urge all members of each and every city branch to stay together, to work together, and then you can fix your problems, whether it is with having minimum charges fixed in your city, in an area. You handle conflicts with surgeons, you can help each other with difficult cases, you can share equipment, you can socialize, you can do so many things. But I think the prerequisite is that we have the city branches and the members stay united and the members gel together. And I think that's a very important function. The ISA will do everything to support city branches and the functioning, because that I think can bring about a dramatic change in the way uh, anesthesiologists function, especially in the periphery and in nursing homes and in private practice. So I think we are going to lay great stress on these sort of aspects. Okay, so the PPF is going to come out with some guidelines, which we know. And I think we also need to concentrate on personal wellness. So I think one thing COVID has taught us is that if you want our patients, we first have to ourselves be fit and healthy. And I say healthy, it's just not physical health, but also mental health. It's also financial health. So ISA has got a group of activities to help this. We've got a cultural club, and we had some excellent music competitions, and we've got some other competitions on poetry, on painting, and so on, which actually, I mean, man is a social animal. And of course, we are professionals, that what brings us together, but what binds us together further is our social engagement. And I think the ISA is providing that platform and will provide that platform via the cultural club, the sports activities, and all those sort of things to keep the members together and gel with each other. I think that is a very important sort of thing. Because a fit anesthesiologist campaign, and then there is the uh, what financial independence sort of movement which is happening. That many people want to have advice on how to invest money and how they can augment their income. The primary income, of course, has to be from your practice, but how you augment that income through investments and it's another important thing which the Private Practitioners Forum is doing. I think that's another aspect which we sort of focused on. And the last thing I think which we can't forget in this day and age is, we have to look not only after ourselves, but also the families of our people who pass away. Isn't it? So, for example, so every now and then, even just the other day, there was news that some young cardiac anesthetist passed away very tragically. But if that person is a breadwinner of the family and dies at a young age, then we can help by becoming members of the Family Benevolent Fund. And then the more members there are of the family FBF, then we can contribute more to the family and we can give a sizable contribution, which will help them to kickstart a new life when our colleague has passed away. So I think that's very important. And planet safety is something which we have to do in this era. And we had this wonderful contest. We had 500 plus entries from different age groups, and some fantastic essays. So I was very happy to see that there's a lot of awareness and there's a lot of enthusiasm in doing things which will protect our planet in our professional life. So I think these are some of the things which I think we want to do. We want to engage with governments and all those sort of things. But so there's a lot to be done. We've been able to do certain things. Finished certain things. We've kickstarted the process in others, and hopefully there'll be others things which you've not been able to do. So I'm sorry for a long answer.
No, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful description of all the 5 Ps. I think this podcast will be made available by our honorary secretary to all the members. So everyone will come to know about the description of 5 Ps and what really our president is having his vision for our ISA members. Thank you, sir. My next question to Dr. Sukhwinder Singh Bajwa, our honorary secretary. Sir, our IS is having a phenomenal history. It took birth in 1947 in Mumbai, and can you just enlighten us on various historical revolutions of ISA? Also tell us also about the various senior office bearers, because sir said just now there are many members who always thought good about ISA, and they're good, and because of them the ISA is in the today's position. So kindly enlighten us about various seniors who had worked hard for ISA.
Thank you, Dr. Manisha. And continuing the answer of Dr. Divetya sir about this reluctance to coming to ISA because of the political image which was being carried over the years. I think these things keep on fluctuating up and down, and I think Dr. Bhimeshwar sir is the biggest example. He must have been seeing the ISA for a long, long time. So is the best person among the present GC to know what is actually the history of ISA, and he has seen many people and knowing more than us. Actually, this ISA is one of the oldest, after IMA, if you ask, it's the oldest association of clinicians. 47, we had celebrated 75 years of its existence in 2022 at Gurugram. Right from I think the birthplace is Mumbai, and it will be a privilege for me as an honorary secretary to highlight the names of those office bearers who are the torch bearers, the founder members, and subsequently carried the legacy forward. Yeah, political things do come in any organization, but only when you really enter into it and when you know what you are going to do for the upliftment of that organization, you really know this is the potential of this organization. And ISA, we always say the second largest organization of the world among the anesthesiologists. And I think it's also second in India also after IMA. So it is our honor if we really remember all the seniors who were the pioneers and who took the baton forward to highlight the legacy of ISA. So I will be just sharing with you people about this thing, how the things went from where. Is my screen visible to you? Is it
Yes, you
visible?
can enlarge it. Dr. Bajwa, you can enlarge it.
It is visible, clearly visible.
It is visible, you can enlarge it.
It's already enlarged on my screen actually. Very difficult to enlarge
Got
because the name will disappear. So see, from the year 1949, we had the first conference after the formation of the society in 47. We had the first conference at Bombay. Dr. M.L. Desai was the president, and Dr. B.N. Sirkar was secretary, and Dr. S.G. Talwakar was treasurer. So this and continued with the next 3 years with the Bombay, Delhi, Calcutta in 50-51, because the 50 and 51 they almost clashed with only the months was differentiating between the conference. So you can very well see the names here: Dr. Hari Rao, Dr. Ganguly, and as a president. Then you go further, then you have Dr. S.K. Bakshi. I'm taking the names of presidents only. Secretary, you can see their names are three times they're coming because of the tenures. So Dr. S.K. Bakshi in 52 at Vellore. This is the conference where the presidents are doing those conferences. So they are the president of that conference. They are president during that conference. In 53 Agra, Dr. N. Chandrasekhar. 54 Hyderabad, Dr. P.B. Sood. Dr. 55 Amritsar, Dr. H. Bharat. And 56 Indore, Dr. S.G. Talwalkar. 57 Nagpur, Dr. G.S. Ambedkar. 1958 Vizag, Dr. B.N. Sarkar. And 1959 Jaipur, Dr. B.D. Dameja. 1960 Dr. V.B. Bhargav. 1961 Baroda, Dr. M. Prasad. 1963 Kolkata, Dr. Satendra Singh. Then in 1964 Bombay, Dr. G.C. Tandon. 65 Hyderabad, Dr. R.P. Parulkar. 66 Calcutta, Dr. Mrs. S. Nath. Then 67 Patna, Dr. S.K. Chatterjee. 68 Ahmedabad, M.M. Som. 69 Delhi, Dr. L. Bhattacharjee. Then 1970 Jabalpur, Dr. Pritam Singh. 1972 we had a Trivandrum, Dr. A.K. Bose. I think 71 must be missing due to war. I think India-Pakistan war. If I'm not mistaken, Dr. Bhimeshwar can throw light on that later. So in 72 Trivandrum, Dr. A.K. Bose. 73 Cuttack, Dr. N.P. Singh. Now 74 at Lucknow, Dr. T.N. Jha, the famous president on whose name we have got the traveling grants also. And 75 Madras, Dr. Brigadier N.C. Das. 76 Pune, Dr. A.J. Dhruva. 1977 at Bangalore, Dr. B.D. Belani. 79 at Gwalior, Dr. Venkatrao, Dr. M. Venkatrao, on whose name oration is being done every year now. 1980 Hyderabad, Dr. N.K. Mishra. Then again at 81 Chandigarh, Dr. A.P. Singhal, on whose name we are giving the Lifetime Achievement Award. Then in Mangalore, 82 Dr. K.P. Chansoria, along with the Dr. T.N. Jha, we have the traveling grants. And a competition is there. Every single candidate, one candidate from each state is, the PG student is representing their state at the competition in the national conference. In 83 Bikaner, we have Dr. R.K. Pradhan. Then 84, we have Dr. M.T. Bhatia, a very famous personality who always comes to the conferences and whose name their awards have also started. That in 85 Bombay, Dr. K.P. Ramachandran, on whose name the KPR Young Anesthesiologist Award of Kerala is being, rather India. Kerala just bestows it. It's an All India Award. Then 86 Vizag, Dr. Vasumati Divekar ma'am, whom she is still active at this age. She was there last night on the SARC webinar also. She was a former president of SARC Association also. 87 Calcutta, Dr. Ellen Rao. Then 88 Udaipur, Dr. Narayan C. Bose. 89 Manipal, Dr. V.K. Dhanraj. And in 1990, Dr. Madras, Dr. V.J. Apapati. Darbhanga in 1991, Dr. G.J. Lala. Then 93 Bangalore, Dr. Dipankar Das Gupta is still, I think he comes to wherever he gets time. Dr. Pramila Chari, she's from PGI. In 1994, she became president, Jaipur conference. In Varanasi, 1995, Dr. S.P. Singh, and we are going to be honoring him this year. Then Dr. Amitabh Rudra in 1996 at Hyderabad. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award last year at Gurugram. Then 97 New Delhi, Dr. Premlatha ma'am. 1998 Kathmandu, Dr. Manorma Mittal. Then 99 Cochin, Dr. Akram Lal. Nagpur 2000, Dr. K. Balakrishnan sir is one of the whose name the registered office worked for a long time and who was a source of inspiration for all of us. Then Dr. 2001 Ahmedabad, Dr. Surendra Reddy sir, he expired last year. So everybody paid homage to the departed soul at that time. In 2002, Coimbatore, Dr. S.M. Basu, whose name award is also there. He was editor also. Then Dr. R.C. Agarwal in 2003, he is very active still, coming to conferences. Then 2004, Dr. G.K. Sinha. Then Dr. Agnihotri is also a very good motivator for me and a very good person who has always given me a very good suggestion as a secretary. In Mysore 2006, Dr. B. Radhakrishnan, another towering personality, he is still very active. Then another in 2007, Vishakhapatnam, Dr. P.F. Kotur, who was also editor-in-chief, later on became a president. In Jodhpur, Dr. Karen Tagore. Dr. Karen Tagore is also very active, coming to the conferences. Similarly, Dr. Manjushri Ray in 2009, and she is a very active lady. Ranganathan sir, I think he like defies the age actually. He's a very, very dynamic personality till today also. And our respected Dr. Deepak Malviya in 2011 at Mumbai. And Indore, Dr. Anjan Datta, another towering personality from West Bengal. Then our very fondly, always very fond of him, Dr. Brigadier T. Prabhakar, because all my HODs and were from army background, so because that's why I know him so much closer. Then our dynamic man, the man who has gone to the ILCOR and famous, this one, making the calls popular in the entire country. And this mission is being accomplished by his vision. Then in 2015 at Jaipur, Dr. Harsoor sir, is a former chief editor, also became the president. Then Dr. A.S. Kameshwara Rao at Ludhiana. I was a secretary at that time of Punjab State. And Dr. B.B. Mishra, our very lovable personality, sir, expired later, but during his presidency, we saw the glimpses of his administration. Then in 2018 Agra, we had Dr. Kuchela Babu, and 2019 at Bangalore, Dr. S. Bala Bhaskar. He was also the former chief editor. And 2020, it was a COVID year, so Dr. Muralidhar Joshi was the president. And 2021 is Ahmedabad. So Dr. Muralidhar Joshi was there because this was a hybrid conference. In Shillong, Dr. Venkatagiri was the president. And in Gurugram, now sitting with us today is Dr. Bhimeshwar sir. And now 2024 is Dr. Divetya sir. So all these are dynamic personalities who have led our society to a greater heights. And I think whatever the reputation was maybe having prevalent at a particular time, but everybody has contributed immensely to the growth of society, which has grown to that number of 46,500 plus. And all the secretaries, almost all secretaries have gone on to become the president, except Dr. Thate. Is I think W.P. Thate. He was the only secretary I can see in the list who could not become president. I don't know the reason. Dr. Bhimeshwar sir may be a better person to throw light on that. But and all our treasurer partner, my Manoj Kumar, my present treasurer partner Virendra Sharma was previously, and Dr. Abdul Hamid before that, because I was in the GC at that time, he expired. So I think these people we know, but the previous one, I am also not sure. I've heard the name from the board we are maintaining at the national headquarters. And these are people who have taken ISA to this present position. And whatever we have got, I think the platform is there. With the academic touch coming to the ISA in a very, very rampant manner, I think we can go much, much higher. Much, much higher. I think sky is the limit, as Dr. Divetya sir said. There are many, many good people in the organization who are helping us, who are taking the society forward. It's never a single man game. It's always a teamwork, which always is the cornerstone for taking any newer success. Regarding the previous any historical aspects, I request Dr. Bhimeshwar sir to throw a light on that. Sir,
Yeah.
Bhimeshwar.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bajwa. Yeah, you covered wonderfully the entire thing. One thing is, you will also have the first 14 members. If you look at the history, which I had compiled, and I think it must be in all archives of our ISA, there are 14 members, that is 12 founder members, president and secretary, around 14. That list will also be there with you. And then the first conference in 1949, 21 delegates. You will have a list of that also, the 21 delegates. I think that you can again preserve it and keep it on the website. It will be a very good lesson for all the youngsters. And about the conferences and all, I told you, we never had conference in 62 because of the war. And the 51 we had two, one in January and one in December. So that takes care of 52. We never had a conference in 62 because of the Chinese war, 71 because of the Bangladesh liberation, 78 because we had a Saka conference at that point of time. Dr. Venkataraw was the organizing president at that time, and the chief guest for that was Dr. Neelam Sanjeeva Reddy, the president of India. He had come there. That was in Delhi, the SACA conference. So in 78, we never had the conference. And again in 92, because of Babri Masjid, we never had the conference. And then, of course, because of COVID, we never had in 2020. Otherwise, we had conferences everywhere. And then till 1965, we were having, as I told you, we were having the conference along with the Surgeons of India. We never had a separate conference of our own, like Indian Society of Anesthetists. It was always piggybacking on the Surgeons Conference in the last week of December. We were allotted one small hall where we were doing the anesthesia conference. But it was in 1965, again in Hyderabad, and again Dr. Venkatrao. He did the first independent conference of the Indian Society of Anesthetists. That is another landmark thing. And in 1993, I think, when Dr. Balakrishnan, I think he was the secretary, the name of our society was changed from Indian Society of Anesthetists to Indian Society of Anesthesiologists. This was another landmark thing for us. Of course, rest of the thing, I'm sure you all of you will be knowing. And yes, from a very, very humble beginning, we had crossed so many obstacles, and now we have reached a stage where we are on the map of the world, anesthesia map of the world, and I'm sure sky is the limit for all of us, with wonderful work coming up with all the governing council. Governing council has become very, very proactive now with all the academic activities, cultural activities. About 12, 13 clubs have been started in the last secretary's tenure and all, and everything is going on very well. I'm sure sky is the limit for ISA. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for elaborating the things, because I know when a secretary is sitting in the council, a past secretary, my works become easier. Wherever I miss, you are always there to add.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bhimeshwar, sir. Yeah, thank you very much. And I salute to your memory. The way you were remembering the events right from the year, salute to your memory, sir. And that shows your devotion and work for ISA.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Bhajwa, so thank you for putting up that history. When I passed my MD, I got a prize from Bombay University, and it was called the Moksmadan Narbiram Desai Prize for standing first in anesthesia. And now I've just realized that he was the first president of the ISA.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Bhimeshwar, sir.
Manoj.
So how many personnel for defense who became the ISA president?
Brigadier Soor. I think 5 or 6 of us.
Colonel Agarwal.
Brigadier Soor, Colonel Agarwal, Brigadier Prabhakar, myself. Then I think another 2. I just have to check it up, sir.
NC Das, Brigadier NC Das.
Yeah, NC Das. Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Vice President, Brigadier, Captain Parekh, Vice President. And GC members, we had many. Colonel Wagre. Colonel Wagre was there. The Madhusudan was there. TP Madhusudanan. Yeah. He contested for president and lost in Bhopal to Dr. Agnihotri.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
so
sir.
much. And thank you, Honorary Secretary, for giving us for enlightening us about the immense contribution of previous 74 presidents of ISA, the secretaries, the treasurers, and their whole team. Thank you so much. We'll proceed to the next question. The next question is to Divatiya, sir. Sir, whenever a student passes his MBA exam, he is always in dilemma whether to go for a postgraduate, super specialization entrance, or to join private practice or join government job. There is no one This question came to my mind when I heard one of the debate in Yuvakon, recent Dehradun, that after passing DM in a particular subject, they do not get job as specialty anesthetists. They are always offered a job as super specialty anesthesiologists, but they are not absorbed easily as general anesthesiologists. So we always look upon you for your guidance. You are our mentor, sir. So kindly enlighten us on these issues to all our young PG students. What to do after passing exam? Should they go for this super specialty exam, or should directly start the practice?
So Manisha, I will be hesitant to give blanket advice to anyone to do this or do that. Because everyone's circumstances are different. Some people need to start earning quickly so that they can support their family. Some people want to learn, they want to learn different things. Someone wants more experience in pediatrics, someone wants more experience in regional, someone wants more experience in some other specialty. So they feel that they need to learn more before they sort of venture either into a job or into practice or whatever it is. And the problem is today there are so many choices available for our students after they finish their MD. Earlier when we were students, we were nothing. Either you go pick up, like we used to say, Dabba Batli and practice in nursing home, or you join a corporate job, and even those were not that many, or you become a lecturer, or you do something like that, right? Or you go abroad. So now you've got so many DMs, you've got national board fellowships, you've got so many courses which are there. In critical care, in pain, in anesthesia, subspecialties of anesthesia. So there are lots of choices. And again, the circumstances of each person is different. So my advice would be, I wouldn't say advice, my suggestion would be that, if you, at that age, when you're young and when you're energetic and, don't, of course, you have to worry about the practicalities of life, how much you're going to earn and how you're going to support your family and how much time do you have before you can, how much you can spend on learning before you start earning. All those things are there. But I think this is the time you do what your heart tells you to do. If you feel you want to study, you want to say, do pediatric anesthesia, do a fellowship in pediatric anesthesia. You feel you want to go somewhere and learn regional anesthesia, ultrasound, intensive care, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, do it. See, try out all these things because yes, it does mean you're giving 1, 2, 3 years of your life, but see the world, go after do what your heart tells you to do, evaluate what happens when you make your choice, and then you move forward. So I don't think there's a formula, but I think go ahead and don't let anything stop you unless there are some very compelling reasons why you need to sort of. In that case, you don't have a choice. If there are compelling reasons to start earning immediately, you don't have much choice. But otherwise, I think do what your heart tells you to do. Things will sort themselves out eventually. And if you are lucky enough to have choices, that's good. Some people just don't have a choice. You just do whatever it is and, learn to like what you get and be happy with what you have. And I'm sure there is enough in anesthesia and the different branches and specialists of anesthesia to be competent, to be happy, and to be proud of what you're doing.
Thank you, sir, for a nice suggestion. Since the specialities and subspecialties of anesthesia are now growing, as you said correctly, the students must opt for all these opportunities if they are feasible for them. Thank you so much, sir.
President sir, I have some query. So how can we save the planet from ISA platform? Because in India, lots of problems in different corner of the India, like droughts and like flood affected and other disaster management point of view.
So, if you're asking how can we as anesthesiologists save the planet? Well,
yes, sir. Other than the OT safe environment, other than
yes.
we'll work for the drought and flood and disaster management.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're asking as a citizen, how can you work towards the planet? I think that's an important question because apart from being anesthesiologists, we are also citizens of our city, our country, of the world. But yeah, so simple things like waste management, waste segregation. When you make your bungalow, Manoj, rainwater harvesting, and all those sort of things we can do. And yes, the climate change does precipitate disasters, and we are seeing floods and hurricanes and uh, heat waves and that kind of thing. And of course, we can involve ourselves in helping out as medical professionals in disasters and volunteers in various kinds of disaster situations. But I think even you're very right that even as a citizen, we need to make sure we conserve and help our planet, water conservation, waste segregation, uh, don't consuming as little electricity, not wasting stuff. I mean, all those small things. And we can always argue that what will one person do to save the planet? But I think if a million people do the same thing, it will have a cumulative effect in helping our planet.
Yes,
Thank you, sir.
thank you, sir. We always owe something to our society at large. So, what is your opinion as a president of this August Association? How we will contribute? Our association will contribute. I think you have given a part of that answer in what Dr. Manoj sir asked. So, as a part of our association, how can we contribute ourselves to the society at large?
So again, that is a very, very important question. And it is also one which is a little, I won't say it's difficult to answer, but it is difficult to practice maybe in some ways. So one is, of course, we need to create awareness of our specialty. And even now today, if you go to see, the awareness of our specialty is, I mean, they say, "Acha tum sungate ho," and तुम बेहोश करते हो, and acha, you will put me to sleep when I go for surgery. So we have so all those things are there, and the movies still show us putting up someone giving anesthesia with a mask like this or some sorts. So we have to create awareness for our society. And I think we run this campaign competition which we've done of jingles and slogans and poems and paintings. Again, we'll use some of those to create awareness of our specialty. And we'll also have a competition of reels, Instagram reels, which we can put up on a day in the life of an anesthesiologist. So maybe something again, so once people know who we are, then they can approach us for help. Now, one very important aspect is, we are a society, professional society representing nearly 50,000 anesthesiologists, right? And if you go to see if there's any issue concerning anesthesia, concerning intensive care, for example, in COVID, right? Uh, some issues related to professional practice of surgery, anesthesia, they will never consult the professional association. The government rarely consults a professional association. And it's across the board. It's not just anesthesia. It's whether it's the physicians, it's critical care, whether it's some pain association or gynec association. They will always have their fixed people who are professors in certain fixed institutions and medical colleges who they will call to advise them. And I think somehow the ISA has to break that barrier and get into direct liaisoning with government and lobbying with government and that sort of thing. I think one of the very important examples that we see here today in front of us is that because of lobbying by the ISA and also by the ISCCM, the National Board has changed its exam pattern for NEET SS. That has been because of intense lobbying, court cases, and by professional association. I think this is a very important job which we should do and which we should get into. It did not happen when I was president of ISCCM. It has not yet happened with the ISA, but my real hope is that one day that whenever there's a problem concerning anesthesia, critical care, pain, palliative care, that ISA will be one of the bodies that will be consulted by the government. And I think liaisoning with government is very, very important. On a more social front, apart from all the charitable work that we do and the, philanthropy that many of our anesthesiology colleagues are doing. They're doing some wonderful work. I know some of them personally, okay? Especially in Maharashtra, I know a few people who are doing fantastic philanthropic work. But one of the things that India needs as a country is anesthesiologists to rural areas, right? And the solution of government is to put a bond and then you dump someone somewhere where there are no surgeons or no, or whatever it may be. But I think we need to get into an arrangement with the government, state governments or the government of India, where we can organize a rota of volunteers who will contribute on a weekend basis or weekly basis or something. We need to get, so we need to make ourselves like not only visible to the world, but we also need to make ourselves visible to the governments, and that will sort of vastly boost the image of the ISA, and it also help in a sort of social purpose that we can do. So lobbying, I think, is extremely important. That is something we need to do, and unfortunately, at least I have not been very successful in that, but we can always hope that eventually it will happen. And we've got very able leaders who can do this and take this issue sort of forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for this wonderful answer. My next question is to Dr. Bajwa. Every member wants to know what are the advantages of being a member of ISA. Can you briefly explain us so that all the members will come to know why they should go for ISA membership?
Yeah, that's a very common question, and many of our office bearers here, when they have also encountered in their lifetime, and many more people, when they ask somebody to become ISA member, the first question the person asks, the anesthesiologist asks, what is the advantage for me to become ISA member? And the most visible one is that in the conferences of the ISA conference, you get a 50% discount. That's the most known to everyone, that you will get a discount, you become a member. The person says, if I don't want to attend the conferences, then what's the use of becoming ISA member? There comes the real thing. I think when you are an office bearer of ISA, whether it's a city level or a state level or a national level, things should be very clear to you so that you can proceed with the ISA feelings in your heart to persuade and to convince somebody why you should be the member of ISA. Lately, only one of our very renowned anesthesiologists from Saharanpur, I told him the same things and I shared certain documents with him, and it was so easy for him that he has formed a branch of the anesthesiologist within a week time, which we will be declaring on the 16th of October. Then I think it's always better to have a full-fledged presentation of ISA and how ISA is really helping its member, and how ISA has evolved over the year, which I just told in that presentation previously. Now, how ISA has also evolved over the year as an academic and a professional organization. That's a very important part. So ISA has always helped its members to grow globally as a professional and in academics. Come any conference or come any world level conference or wherever you want to participate, invariably it is asked, what is your ISA number, or you want to participate as a faculty, you have to get a recommendation from your society. So ISA is always helping in that to every member. Then about the teamwork, I think Dr. Divetya sir and Dr. Vimeshwar sir, we were speaking about this thing also in a slight manner at that time, but entirely over the year, ISA has taught and demonstrated across the nation that without teamwork, no one can grow singly in any organization. And by staying in ISA, when you learn the teamwork, you really grow like anything. So this is our team of the Governing Council 2023-24, which is working very, very fine manner. I think maybe having certain obstacles at somewhere, maybe having some difference of opinions, but at the end, everybody is working together for achieving a common goal. And another thing, this was the historic moment when we had ISA also, the way we are remembering our past presidents, and now we had a wall of fame at our registered office in Chennai. So this is another thing. You achieve great heights in ISA and people remember you for a long time now. It's becoming a permanent thing of grace for our past president at the wall of fame in Chennai registered office. So not just that, now coming to the academic front, now we will be having the Clip and Crisp series, new inauguration today. But these are the, very, very important academic endeavors which has been taken to help the things further. And IS is providing a free education, free panel discussion, free case discussion, difficult scenarios, along with a national webinar for practitioners. And that is also happening. as well as our journals. They are helping a great lot in the research and academic activities, and our ISN National online quiz. So these are some academic endeavors which are taking the ISA to further height. They are always helping the members. You are a member, you can easily have access to these things. Then overall activities, throughout the country, that when you are working at a city level or a state level, ISA always highlights your work, whatever work you are doing. At the end, the reports are there in every newsletter. And regarding the education, if you go in depth, then you see we have got the national, zonal, and state conferences are regularly held, as Dr. Bhimeshwar sir said, because a few conferences over the years, last 77 years, hardly 3 or 4 conferences, and mainly because of the war and some other calamities. And the CMEs are an important part of the conferences. ISA itself promotes and supports the CME programs and hands-on workshop at city level. Every city level, we have got sponsored CMEs, PG assemblies. So ISA is contributing a lot in making you a very educated anesthesiologist. We have got many ISA national webinars as well as the PG classes. Every Monday there are PG class. This Monday we will be missing it because our anesthesia week is going on. Almost this class has always started 4 or 5 years back during the time of previous secretary Dr. Naveen. And we are continuing with the different vigor now with the online interaction of the young PG students are getting so confident. We are calling them associate life members, and when they pass out, they become life members. But they become so confident with these classes, they are answering the national audience in these classes. And that's a thing of pride for ISA. And the PG Assembly have already told we are 6 zones. We allot one PG Assembly to each zone every year. We sponsor them with the financial assistance also to hold these PG Assemblies. And unity. Now, how many times you think how many professional organizations promotes unity? ISA promotes unity among different members of the city and state branches. You can very well see the people sitting in this audience. They are from different cities and states, but unitedly they are together in the governing council or in the other executive bodies. They are having a unified, stance on many certain goals. And the best unity we have seen in the Kolkata incidents, where the entire anesthesiologist fraternity across the nation, along with other specialties also, we were unified against our stands against the atrocities. So this is how ISA teaches us unity in diversity. And regarding it's not just academic events or other things, it's ISA always encourage the youth of our society, because youth are the architects of our future, the leaders of tomorrow, and the torchbearers of change. So we are investing in the youth. They have got a special attention because ISA youth is that because last 10 years to 15 years, whosoever is passing out from the colleges, they are imbibing the best of knowledge. The syllabus has changed a lot for the last 2 decades. The new things, the new dimensions they are learning with the new techniques, the technology, because many of the senior people, they are not well versed with ultrasound technical aspects regarding the regional anesthesia or other aspects, but the new generation, they are learning a lot. So ISA is investing in them, a lot of things. And that is leading to the intellectual and mental growth of every ISA member. The platform is set. It's up to you how you imbibe it, how you go forward. And the communication skills, ISA provides you so many platforms to speak, the webinar, the conferences, the CMEs. You can speak, you can acquire, and moreover, we are doing the workshops also. On the communication skills, you can always attend, because this is a very essential in the coming days when you are managing the intensive care unit as well as the pain centers. So their communication skills are going to be the most important, because these are the OPD based skills. So when anesthesiologists are having the highest critical indoors and OPD in the pain OPDs, so these will help a lot in getting awareness, in bringing our fraternity to a much higher level. Administrative skills, I think when you are ISA member, you enter into a city branch or a state branch or a national level, you start fine tuning yourself to learn these skills. These skills are not taught or they're not acquired by anybody, but over the time, you may be acquiring these skills as a part of your college faculty going into the hierarchy. But administrative skills in the ISAs are altogether different. It's a very good experience if you start from the city levels and going to the national levels. Roles and responsibilities, that's definitely, it's a society which defines how you have to play your role and how to be responsible for each action of yours. These things we are seeing in, I think they're more visible when you send the ladder of hierarchy in the ISA administration. As Dvitya sir has already mentioned about things, there are a few programs of what ISA is doing for its members. We have ISA Legal Cell, ISA Family Benevolent Fund, ISA Social Outreach, ISA Fit Anesthesiologist Campaign, ISA Financial Advisor. And there is we are going to come with a private practitioner forum very soon, maybe another 2 days. So we will be highlighting those guidelines. And these are the minimum mandatory standards for operating room procedures. Coming to the Family Benevolent Fund, as Dr. Devetya sir has already highlighted about in his talk, the ISA Family Benevolent Fund has grown in appeal and in membership numbers in the last few years. Families of our deceased members have been provided sizable amounts from the scheme so as to support them in their hour of crisis. Now, this is very important. Although we have kept the age of 60 years, below 60 years, we are entitled for the membership. And the benefit definitely, see, we have to be very practical in life. The surety of the uncertainty of life, nobody can predict. So whenever such incidences happen, the Family Benevolent Fund is a very, very good scheme by the ISA. And it's not insurance actually. It's a much beyond that. It's a binding, it's a bondage. How the society is really helping its member. Zindagi ke saath bhi, zindagi ke baad bhi. That has been taken this slogan along with it. So I think it's appeal to everyone to be part of the ISA Family Benevolent Fund whenever you are ISA member. And more importantly, ISA teaches you a better understanding of different cultures, languages, and traditions. So you have a conference in every city. You have a CME's workshops in a different cities of the country. So whether you attend as a delegate or as a faculty, you always have a better understanding of different cultural, language, and tradition, which enhances the bonding. So this is what ISA is doing to its general members. And in when you enter the ISA, you see the leaders of you in the city, state, or a national level. You may have learned certain leadership skills in your colleges or in other societies, or maybe in your cities and different association. But in the ISA association, you also learn the leadership skills right from the city level to the national level, where the leaders are really performing so many dynamic roles in everyday's life in teaching so many things. The leaders are taking the torch of ISA forward. And we have already started. We are going to inaugurate it now properly, the ISA NHQ helpline at gmail.com. Because is you go by the literature, evidence, everywhere in the globe, this is the specialty which is always under, stress, right from your post-graduation days. And we have seen a spurt of suicides. Especially if you ask me, I've seen 3 suicides in the last 6 months in this northern part of the country. So that is a too high a number, and maybe somebody can help them. These could have been avoided. Similarly, I think the incidents happened in the cardiac status also. So these type of things, we have developed this helpline with the help of so many experienced people, senior IS members. And we have personally experienced that on this helpline. We see that the advice of our seniors experts are really helping them a lot. This is a tiding over process. You can always tide over your process. Somebody is there to help you out. That will be sending a very good feeling to especially the youngsters. And you see the teaching in public places, how many specialties we really know. This is one specialty which is doing the teaching at all the public places, breaking various records. In the Guinness Book of World Record, the things have come. Whether you are doing the resuscitative facilities or you're doing any other, awareness about it, awareness about life-saving procedures. So this is one society which is really helping the citizens of its country. So we are really proud of ISA, being members of ISA. Our specialty is doing a lot of good job in teaching the lay public about the life-saving procedures, as well as, this is the way to go forward to make your society, to make your specialty aware. Awareness is this is the one way of making our awareness about our society. And it's not just this awareness, we celebrate also. We celebrate this As I told, there was the essay competition, the singing competition, so competition which we declared in the last 2 days. So there's a spirit of celebration competition. We had celebrated even the International Women's Day, and with the past presidents of our ISA being the testimony to that, their presence really graced the occasion. So this is how we are celebrating our, the various functions of ISA. And most importantly, the ISA national and all its state and city branches celebrate World Anesthesia Day. See, this is the one specialty which has its birth date. You talk of any other specialty, you may not be knowing about any birth date, but this specialty has a definite birth date of 16th October, and it is celebrated with enthusiasm every year. And you can see the enthusiasm. This time, this governing council team is celebrating as Anesthesia Week. So this is one of the most important accomplishment of the ISA over years, the celebration. And you will be knowing, you will be glad to know that almost every city is planning in one way or the other to, it's a competition is going on to which city or which state observes the World Anesthesia Day in the best of the manner, because we have got awards for this function also. As all Dr. Diveta sir also speak, we have a cultural growth because of we have got ISA Art and Literary Club, which conducts competition and other activities throughout the year, and we will be announcing few results in the coming days. So ISA is like a big brother, mentor, and parent to all its members. If somebody asks you again, you can have this line. It's like a big brother, mentor, parent to all its members. All of us can look up to ISA to support us and help us grow professionally, academically, and culturally. Thank you. So this is the what I can elaborate about the role of ISA in the life of a ISA member. It has a huge role, but only has to be introspect. You have to do the introspection that how you perceive the things. So I think I may be clear enough from this thing, or something more is required from my side. Dr. Manisha, you may kindly elaborate that also.
Excellent PowerPoint presentation. I think that can be uploaded on our isaweb.in so that every member, and whenever one chooses to be a member of ISA, can see that PowerPoint presentation. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the elaborate answer. And I would like to go for the last question of today's this podcast to Dr. Diwatiya, sir. Sir, you have two beautiful daughters. You have been leading associations like ISSCM and now ISA. And you are a busy professional heading the critical care department of Lilavati now after finishing your tenure in Tata Memorial Hospital. So how do you balance all these, your professional work, association work, as well as your family? Can you tell us, sir?
Sure, before I get into any more trouble, I've got two beautiful daughters and one lovely wife. Okay. And yeah, so and it's a difficult question, and I think you'll have to ask them whether it was balanced or not. And I suspect that it was not very well balanced in their favor. And I think that is a mistake which many of us make when we are engrossed in our careers, both in professional life as well as in dealing with associations and all those sort of things. So your family life may take a small tumble, a small backseat, but I think at the end of the day, or even you for that matter, Dr. Bajwa for that matter, or Dr. Bhuveshwar, I mean, all of us we are all working in the same boat. We have to somehow find the time or make the time for us and for the family, which for me might mean staying up till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning, either making slides or presentations or writing something or checking something. I'm sure Bajwa, he was sending out emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, so these you have to do these outside your working hours and outside your family hours. And I think it calls for huge amount of understanding and support from the family as well. So unless you have some commitment from your side and some support from the family, I think that is very essential if you have to move on in leadership positions or even just a very busy professional life. I mean, there has to be and it is up to us to strike that balance. And so I'm not saying The problem is we want to have everything. And if you want to have everything, you have to try and expand 24 hours. I don't know how you do it, but you have to do it. And you have to find the time, you have to find that energy. And you have to have the commitment both to the family and to the association and to the society and to your profession and to your hospital. And you have to do it. So if you want to do it, you'll find the time and you'll find the energy and you'll do whatever you need to do.
Dr. Bajwa, can you add something to it?
I think Dr. Devetya sir was saying at 2 o'clock. It's the best time, when your family is sleeping, you can work in a peace and calm manner, and you are more concentrated. You can have a concentration, focus things. I think definitely, if you ask me, agree. Dr. Naveen is also there as a past secretary. Dr. Bhimeshwar sir is there. So, as a secretary, I think the maximum work the secretary has to do in this association, you have to sacrifice. You can't say that I have to have a balanced life. Balanced life means the quality time to the family and everyone. It's not possible at all, if you ask. You may try, you try as much as possible, but somehow, if you have to spend the quality time with your family, then you may not be able to do justification to your post as a office bearer of ISA. So this is a mission. When you join association like ISA, it's a mission, whether you join as a GC member or join as a president. You are on a mission. As Dr. Devetya sir also told about his desires and wishes, as well as, projects, the 5 Ps, to take the association forward. You cannot achieve this by just balancing the life. You have to be focused on the whatever you have achieved. I think Dr. Bhimeshwar and Dr. Naveen will agree with me because they have been secretaries for a long time, and they must have done the most hard work. The presidents also do the very hard work, but being a handling of the national headquarter office, I will straight away confess it's not way. I cannot balance my life, but with the mission in hand, we have to spend those 3 years with the hard work. So I can invite for one minute from Dr. Bhimeshwar and Dr. Naveen about this thing. This is a very important question, actually. Dr. Bhimeshwar, sir.
Yeah, I 100% agree with both the president and the secretary. Secretaries make lots of sacrifices. They do a lot of hard work. And I'm sure somewhere down the line, families are affected. If you really look into it, the family is affected. But fortunately for me, my wife, she had understood the intricacies of all these things. She had been coming with me for all the conferences. She made ISA a part of her life. She made it as a second home because she has been coming and she had made friends with most of the wives of all our members, and she's known to everyone. So that way, I'm at least comfortable that even during the conferences, when I'm attending the meetings or something like that, she used to go with the other ladies either for shopping or either for sightseeing and all. And yes, she had actually supported me a lot during these 16 years of my in the governing council and 32 years in the ISA. And I'm very happy that it has been a good thing. Yes, secretaries do sacrifice a lot of their professional time as well as their personal time as well. Thank you, Dr. Bajwa, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I know the time you also, because at that time, the first time the records were transferred from the physical format to the electronic format, and you
Yes.
were the pioneer to bring that online elections also. So many works were, carried by your office, and the legal matters also you had to face at the same time. So I can know the difficulties faced by the secretariat because it was a landmark transformation from physical record to the electronic record.
Sometimes, honestly, I used to feel it's the most thankless job.
Yeah, it is thankless job, but still, sir, if we have taken
But
up a mission, we have to complete it.
we enjoyed a lot.
I think the one thing that keeps you going for the association is the sense of responsibility.
That's true.
Yes,
You are
that's
for
what I said. Roles and responsibilities.
and you are responsible for the money that they have given you. You're responsible to the money that's in the association. You're responsible for conducting the programs, for doing the various activities, and unless you have that sense of responsibility and the sense of commitment, you cannot function in society.
Yeah. Dr. Naveen, I think you also can add for your experience as a secretary here. Dr. Naveen, just what Dr. President Sir has said, Dr. Divetya Sir and Dr. Meshwar, do you have any word of advice for the roles and responsibilities and the hard work taken by the office bearers of ISA? You can turn off your video and can speak. Voice is not audible.
I can always say thing.
Turn off your
Am I
video.
audible? Thing.
Down.
Enjoy your.
Now you can. Now it's
Am I audible now?
Yeah.
Am I audible? Am I
Yes.
Yes,
audible?
sir. Yes.
I will. My suggestion to all will be, please enjoy your work. Until unless, yes, I agree 100% with Dr. Bimesh and Dr. Bajwa. Your family support is essential and crucial. And I thank on record my better half and best half and the only half, Dr. Rakhi, for supporting me in this journey. We sacrifice, but they sacrifice more. The kids also sacrifice, and but this path we have chosen ourselves, and it is best to enjoy your work. Then only you can work from 5:30 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. During the difficult times also, and during the cooled off time also. And but I won't say that it is a thankless job, because you get lots and lots of love, and you win hearts. You find a place in hearts of so many people across the country, and you get connected to the bigger family across the country in different states. And that is the beauty of being in ISA and being an ISAN. So I am in the midst of my very, very personal, close family function, but still.
Congratulate
like to-
Dr. Naveen for the engagement of his son. We can congratulate him for the engagement of his son today.
Correct. Yes, congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I just finished.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. But I wanted to join this function, so I am combining both of them. But I'm happy in doing so. As simple as that. And Dr. Manisha, you asked one question to Dr. Divetya. I'll just add on to what the President Sir has said. After doing DM, there was an issue of that our DM students who have qualified for DM, they were not getting jobs in anesthesia department, because there were not enough jobs in, suppose somebody has DM cardiac anesthesia and there are no vacancies available, and they want to get job opportunity in anesthesia department where there is a cardiac anesthesia going on, so that they can do cardiac anesthesia also and be in the anesthesia department also. So ISA represented way back in to the UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, that doesn't mean somebody has done DM cardiac anesthesia. They gave reasoning that how will he has not practiced obs anesthesia for 3 years. So we told them very, very clearly that this is nothing to do. They have not forgotten anesthesia in last 3 years, and their qualification, but they are opting for a job where only MD anesthesia qualification is there, which UPSC finally agreed in writing and allowed them. So wherever you find any such instance where the DM candidates, I have applied for a position of assistant professor where the essential qualification is MD anesthesia, please write to the Honorary Secretary ISC National. They will support you in the course of action. And once again, I congratulate all the panelists today for this interesting session of the continuing Anesthesia Week. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Dr. Manisha, I will just want to add to what I've all said regarding this work-life balance. I think in the coming GC, we have to make agenda that the spouses of all the national GC members we made honorary members of ISA, so that will be able to at least be able to bear all the burden and the respect that gives the honorary membership. And many of our GC members will be very happy who say, oh, my spouse has to do a registration, something like that, that is going to take care of. On a lighter plane, I'm saying. That's all I have to say.
Treasurer is not looking very happy with that proposal.
Yeah.
No, sir, I invite all of you, please come with your spouse and your kids at
Okay.
Patna
Oh.
conference.
Yes,
Huh. Kid.
He has included kids also. Thank you, Manoj sir.
Please come, sir. I am very happy person
Okay, chalo.
if you come with family.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Manoj.
Sir, today the Bala Venkat sir told me he will come with his family and his daughter and son-in-law. So I am very happy.
Excellent. Yes, Dada Bala Venkat needs his family to be there for his inauguration. So
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
For his
And
capital
Installation as president.
President sir should also come with his wife.
President sir's wife came for my inauguration. She was there last year.
Last year she was there.
No, this time for your past president installation.
She won't say bye-bye to me. She'll say bye-bye to ISA.
Past president of
No, no.
installation. Academic chairman installation, that is also required.
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Divetia was there in Gurugram. I vividly remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, we were together in the.
Yeah, she was there in Gurugram. She was there.
Sir, they were in the car. My wife, Divetya sir's wife, we were together in the car only. Only after the valedictory function, we went to the dinner together.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ask one last question to our secretary.
Yes, ma'am.
madam.
Sir, you suffered ill health. We all know what that tumultuous time you went through. And then you rebounded again with that full energy, vigor to work for ISA. So for people like who suffer a health setback and again then it is kind of a demotivation that whether we should go, the work is so much, is so stressful. Probably this is one of the reasons why we should not, maybe it's too much of a work for us, then our health might suffer. So how would you like kind of guide the new generation that how they would, because their lifestyle is totally different from the commitment that we see in the present generation, that we all are going through. Our commitment, like our ability to balance life is something different than the newer generation. I feel the newer generation are more into they're more happy-go-lucky. They want to get all the benefits of the society and all. So what encouragement would you give them to join the society as in the national level or to do some leadership roles or those kind of activities, which is contributing to the society of ISA?
Yeah, it's a very
Can I answer
personal and a professional question at the same time. Dr. Divatya sir want to say something first.
for Dr. Bajwa. So I don't think any other anesthesiologist who passes MD or a youngster can become a secretary. To become a secretary, you need a certain type of personality. You need a certain type of commitment. You need a certain sense of responsibility. And everyone cannot have that personality. And even persons who have that kind of commitment and personality cannot have it to the same extent that our secretary, Dr. Bajwa, has. If you remember his surgery, after his health issue, he conducted one of the most high-profile, high-voltage elections that happened in the history of the society. He had faced a tremendous amount of stress, and forget about getting stressed out or going under, he has come out even more vigorous and more strong. Even today, he handles all the society, and he still runs 5 to 10 kilometers on the treadmill, and he tells me in the morning, "Sir, I'm going for a run, you also come with me." So, it takes a different mental makeup, and it's all in the mind. It is all in the mind, and I think you have to hand it to this current secretary, who I've seen at very close quarters, that, you have to have the spirit, you have to have the commitment, you have to have the mental steel, you have to enjoy your work. Of course, you get stressed by certain things. There are all sorts of stresses on you. There are people who will try to pull you down. There are people who will promote you. But I think you have to keep your mental balance, stay strong. And I think we've seen all these qualities in Dr. Bajwa, and don't expect it of any ordinary anesthetist or any ordinary member of the society. That person will never ever become, an ordinary person will never become the secretary of the society. You have to be extraordinary, and you have to be resilient, and you have to be strong, and you have to be dedicated, and you have to enjoy your work.
Right, sir.
Can I ask last question?
Dr. Bajwa, you want to add anything?
Yes, I would want something from
Something, I think Dr. Divetya sir ने emotionless कर दिया मुझे. I have never expected that Dr. Divetya sir has watched me from so close quarters. He observing almost everything and keeping in mind almost everything. And to be very honest, I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky. My first year went with Dr. Bhimeshwar sir, now with Dr. Divetya sir. In the first year, definitely that surgery was there. It was a setback to me because just before the surgery, 2 weeks before surgery, I had to run a marathon of 35 kilometers. And landing up into the surgery was a very difficult thing, but it was something elective procedure also. With the artery blocked about 99.9%, the main, but the collaterals were grade 3. So there was a very mixed response from the most important cardiothoracic surgeons and cardiologists, but ultimately it was required you undergo surgery. Yes, the steely nerves come from your parents, the genes. The most humble and simple parents, they will definitely encourage you, directly or indirectly to become a man of steel. This is a passing generation. Our is a transformation generation. I think 5 years this side, 5 years that side. So we are in such a generation, we have seen the best of both the generation. Dr. Rekha Das is very much right, how to encourage the youngsters. In this generation, what we have seen, we respect the elderly like anything. And we always, give so much love to our youngsters. But I think we have to learn ourselves how to really encourage the newer generation. You have to lead by example. I think I'm very fortunate to have a president like Dr. Divetya sir, because every day I had a similar problem with the last year also, but Dr. Bhimeshwar sir advised me on all the stages, and this time it has gone step further. Now with the second year as a secretary, with the work in a close grip of things. But Dr. Divetya sir's attitude, advice, suggestion, it's helping me so much that my work becomes so easy and simpler. I'm enjoying my work. The best thing, you can't, encourage directly. You have to lead by example you can lead other people. Simply by saying certain things, you cannot encourage others. You can always have something, you can give examples of others. Now, Dr. Divetya has given this example to the house. That may be encouraging to many, but not as even a GC member sparing the time to attend these functions. Everybody is leading with some examples. So that's the only way we can do, set an example for others so that other can get encouragement. You can't encourage directly to somebody, but you have to enjoy your work. As Dr. Naveen also said, you enjoy your work, you definitely never get stressed out. This is the only thing I can say at the moment. The rest is.
Thank you, President sir and Secretary sir, for the wonderful input and the encouraging words to the newer generation. So thank you so much, Manisha.
Yeah, thank you.
Manisha, madam.
Yeah, can we end, sir, now?
Yeah, I
We have
think
to go. Yes, sir. Yeah. So thank you very much, President sir, Dr. Divatia, Honorary Secretary, Dr. Bajwa, for your valuable and expert opinion and talk from your heart. And also Dr. Bhimeshwar sir, Dr. Naveen Malhotra sir were adding to it. And because I remember Dr. Bhimeshwar sir was telling in one of the governing council meeting that definitely a job of secretary is a thankless job. And I could realize it from the expressions of him as well as Dr. Naveen Malhotra as well as Dr. Bajwa. And thank you very much for wonderfully contributing to this today's podcast. It took almost 1.5 hours. So I think we should end with this now.
Thank you, Manisha.
About the next, I think, inauguration of the crisp and clip.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Manisha, I think I will not waste time. You should start the presentation of inauguration of the Yuva Crisp.
I'll do that.
Be a little bit faster in the presentation than that part earlier.
Can you see my screen?
May I make it a full screen?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah,
Can
fine.
you see now?
Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah, so this is the ISA CRIP series which we started last year. It is clinical reasoning and problem solving session which we discuss in the form of various webinars. And now we feel that we should come forward with something called as Yuva CRISPs, where the Yuva members of ISA will be contributing as speakers in this program, and the faculty, the senior members of ISA will be chairing the session, so that the Yuva members will get some guidelines, get some ideas about various difficult clinical scenarios that we face in our day-to-day anesthesia practice. So just to go into the history of ISA CRISPs, it started last year when Dr. Bhimeshwar sir was president and now is the academic chairman, and honorary secretary Dr. Bajwa. Under their leadership, we started in the month of May 2023. And this series includes two kinds of sessions. One is How I Do It session, and second is Cracking the Scientific Dilemma. These are the various clinical dilemmas which we face in day-to-day practice when we are giving anesthesia. So this was the flyer of the inauguration, which occurred on 24th May 2023. And now we are continuing with this series with Dr. Divatiya sir as president and Dr. Bajwa continuing as secretary, and myself and Dr. Manoj Kumar continuing as the program heads for this series. For the previous year, Dr. Chintala Kishan was joined us as a program head, and three of us conducted various programs. We could conduct 9 webinars as in the part of ISA CRISP series. And first was the obstetric anesthesia webinar. The common clinical topics we selected for How I Do It, and the important clinical topics where there is always a dilemma, what to do. Those topics were selected for cracking the scientific dilemma. And if you look at this, the views on our ISA National Headquarters YouTube series, you can see there are 4,500 views for this first webinar, which we conducted as a part of ISA CRISP series. Second was pediatric anesthesia, where we discussed airway management in infants and children. And then that webinar also had many views, around 3,300 views from our ISA members. Third was ISA CRIP series on geriatric anesthesia, where we discussed cardiovascular system. We discussed various important clinical scenarios like what to do about induction of anesthesia, that we should go for volatile anesthesia, TIVA, and what are the challenges that we faced in aged heart, and we learned from the experiences of our speakers. So it was a wonderful webinar again. It had 1,600 views on our YouTube channel. The fourth was spinal anesthesia complications, and the commonest topics were discussed, and the most important discussion went on spinal anesthesia. Should we go for co-loading or preloading? So it has highest number of views, and around 5,300 views are there. The viewers have seen, the ISA members have seen this program. The fifth was perioperative fluid therapy. We discussed various scientific dilemmas regarding use of crystalloids, polarized, balanced or unbalanced IV fluids, which fluids to be used in the perioperative period, and why they should be used. It has 2,800 views on the YouTube channel. The sixth series was airway challenges, and this series was very well appreciated by all the members, and we have 2,500 views. The seventh was anesthesia and obesity endocrinology series, where we discussed obesity, and this series was also very well accepted by our members, and around 1,200 viewers from ISA, they saw this on our YouTube channel, ISA National Headquarters YouTube channel. And the last series which we conducted was anesthesia and thyroid diseases, and there, by discussion about the scientific dilemma, we discussed the topic anesthesia for hypothyroid patient for non-thyroid surgery. How much TSH level is safe prior to surgery and why? And while discussing, we realized that there are no standard Indian guidelines that will tell us when to anesthetize a patient, at what exact value we should need. We should be anesthetizing a patient of hypothyroidism coming for either elective surgery or emergency or a semi-emergency surgery. And there we realized that we need to formulate guidelines, and that's why these guidelines will be inaugurated in this week with our president and secretary. So we will be discussing and we will be formulating these guidelines under our College of ISA. So again, this had 1,400 views. And now, as Dr. Bajwa said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. We got encouraged with so many members viewing our ISA National Headquarters YouTube channel, the scientific programs, because it may not be possible for everyone to join the program at particular day and time. But then we definitely circulate those YouTube their recordings on various WhatsApp group, as well as they are seen by people on the YouTube. So this really got us encouraged, and we decided to go for Yuva Crisp. The Yuva members will be speaking in this series. We know that young anesthesiologists have immense potential. Just now, Dr. Bajwa mentioned about that they will be leaders of tomorrow. They will be developing solutions, and we need to spot them, nurture them, and help them to bloom. And this definitely is going to be our organizational success. So, if the whole country is mourning the death of Ratan Tata, he has said, if you want to go ahead, if you want to walk far, walk together. So definitely, I say want to involve all the younger generation in this scientific academic program of ISA. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Manisha. I think we first will have inputs from our president, sir, about the Yuva CRISP series. Already CRISP is doing a great job, and we are going to start it again. Dveta, sir.
Yeah, so again, this is a very good initiative to have the CRISP online. And as we heard, it's been a very popular sort of program, and lots of practical tips for practitioners. So I'm not surprised. The topics are well chosen, the speakers are good, and it's got a very good audience. Involving the youth is always a good idea, and I think as we see the CRISP, as we see them performing in the Yuva programs online, we can actually start recruiting them towards state and national conferences.
Yes.
And so this will give a platform for the youngsters. So we to make an initial presentation, and if we spot someone who's good, we'll even give an opportunity at a higher level. And I think what I have planned and what the governing council has planned for this year and definitely for next year is that at least at the national conference, we will try and in each and every session have at least one young Yuva speaker in every session, so that will give them a national platform. And I think programs such as the online Yuva Crisp and the Yuva Clip series will give us an opportunity to spot and see these speakers and give them a help us in choosing the good speakers at a state level or at a national level. And I think selecting the youth and encouraging the youth is one of the most important things that the ISA can do. And I think such programs are absolutely top notch, and they should be given the highest priority, and we should take them forward.
Thank you, sir. I think you are absolutely right. This is basically a talent search program from our society where we can really give them, as Dr. Rekha Das ma'am was asking, how to encourage. This is one step of encouragement to the youth. They can have a confidence when they're presenting on the national platform, because these CRISP series and now the another inauguration, the CLIP series, these are the platform where you get a very confidence enhancing experience, because everybody cannot attend the conferences. So you will get opportunity to speak here also, and you will be able to find out the best talent in your country. You feel proud of it in ISA. So without wasting time, I request Dr. Madhuri because she is another program coordinator for CLIP, to present the inauguration of another CLIP series.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'll share my screen. Control. Really do it. Can you see? Good evening, sir. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, fine. You go
Yeah.
ahead with it.
So, thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to present the report regarding the CLIP series. So, the ISA Clinical Practice Oriented Webinar Series, CLIP as it became very popularly known, it was mainly directed towards the clinical practice oriented topics for practitioners. And we started in May 2023. And the first session took place on 4th May 2023. It was inaugurated by Dr. Bhimeshwar sir, President ISA National, Dr. Venkat Giri, Academic Committee Chairman ISA National, and Dr. Sukhminder Jeet Singh Bajwa, Honorary Secretary ISA National. And we have had around 10, exactly 10 CLIP webinars up till now. The webinars were held on every Thursday between 6:30 to 8 p.m. online on Zoom platform. And the webinars were in the form of panel discussions with clinical experts in the topic from different parts of our country. And the panelists, all the panelists were expert in those particular topics. And there were clinical coordinators for all the sessions. Dr. Divetia sir, President ISA National, and Dr. Bhimeshwar sir, Chairman Academic Committee ISA National, advised us on these series. This is our CLIP team with Manoj Kumar sir as program head, Bajwa sir as the founder, and myself and Nishant Saha as program coordinators. The first CLIP webinar was the topic was failed spinal anesthesia with Dr. Shikha Mehrotra as the moderator. It was the first CLIP webinar, and it had a lot of people attending it, and a lot of points were discussed, and so many messages were conveyed through the webinar. This is the second CLIP webinar on segmental spinal anesthesia. As we all know, segmental spinal is now a very hot topic, and that time that topic was literally swept the nation. And this particular panel discussion on segmental spinal had a lot of views. Then we had the third webinar on anesthesia for hip surgery. For this, we had expert panelists from different medical colleges and private practitioners joining in, with moderator is Dr. Sri Priya. Fourth webinar was the fourth webinar. Again, we had a lot of Dr. Anju Gupta as the moderator, and the topic was feasibility of regional nerve blocks in the peripheries. The fifth webinar was on obstetric emergencies in the peripheries. The sixth CLIP webinar was on patient on anticoagulant for operative procedures. The seventh CLIP webinar was on essential preoperative investigations, where a lot of points regarding preoperative investigations were discussed. The eighth webinar was on labor analgesia, and we had a lot of experts in labor analgesia discussing the topic. The ninth CLIP webinar was on preoperative blood transfusion. And the 10th webinar was on the role of communication skills in breaking bad news. So all the CLIP webinars have successfully clipped knowledge to our consultants and practitioners and brought knowledge to their doorsteps. And the sessions were recorded, live streamed on YouTube, and the recordings are available on the YouTube channel of the ISA National Headquarters. And now, as already told, the Yuva Clip is coming up soon. And as our Prime Minister has said, the youth of India has the strength to move the entire world with a click of a mouse. And we have to generate that ability. So coming up soon is the Yuva Clip. And all of us have to stay tuned to hear all our Yuva practitioners discuss all interesting topics in the form of a panel discussion. So all the ISA Clip webinars recordings are available on this YouTube at ISA NHQ. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Madhuri. Basically, the idea of a CLIP webinar is because our practitioners, very difficult for them to attend all the conferences. They had limitations, the practice being suffering, but always they have a problem, they don't get an answer. You can't just want to go to a conference to get an answer to your problem. So this is a very suitable platform where you can ask any query in the chat box, or you can ask directly by raising your hands regarding any difficulty, any doubt, a clinical doubt in your practice. So this youngsters practice is because many of our anesthesiologists now are joining the private practice after passing out from the medical colleges, or even after the senior residency, they're doing it. So the youngsters, I think, with the newer technology, newer knowledge, newer skills, new wisdom into the practice, it's going to be adding a different dimensions. So this Yuva Clip will be and a Yuva Clip and a Yuva Crisp, they are going to, I think, help the entire nation from the youngsters' point of view. And President Sir, your views on this Yuva Clip, and after that, both the Clip and Crisp.
So I think the similar view, just what I mentioned for the Yuva Crisp, I think the same applies for Yuva Clip. And I think it's nice to hear the young voices speak. And I think like you have in the Yuva College, you have at least senior persons as chairpersons or moderators. So, so maybe so all those things will eventually help in helping the society grow. And I think promoting the youth is one of the most important things that the ISA can do for its members. So, and we have to focus on the young members because they are the future of the society.
Thank you, sir. I think today it was at the Dussehra festival, we had a little crowd, but I think whosoever present here, we can spare another 3-4 minutes for whatever the views they want to give. So you can unmute yourself and raise your hands to convey your whatever the thought, suggestion for these podcast and the clips and clip series. Anyone? There are so many members.
Sir, Dr. Bajwa.
Yeah.
Very good initiative by a podcast
series. आप बोलिए, हमें अच्छा लगता है, हिंदी में बहुत अच्छा लगता है। नहीं आपकी लैंग्वेज अच्छी लगती
है। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि ISA नेशनल के द्वारा जो पॉडकास्ट सीरीज का इनॉग्रेशन आज हुआ, तो उसमें हम लोग ISA मेंबर उसको अपने अमल में लाएंगे, और हम लोग जो सर का प्रेसिडेंट सर का 5P का है उसको हम लोग ये करेंगे। और जैसे कि पिछले साल से जो हम लोग शुरू किए क्लिप सीरीज और क्लिप सीरीज, ये दोनों में हम नेशनल ये कोऑर्डिनेटर थे। तो कोऑर्डिनेटर होने के चलते जो फीडबैक मिला मुझे, तो पूरा इंडिया से स्पेशली प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिशनर के तरफ से दोनों सीरीज में काफ़ी वो लोग इन्वॉल्व थे, और जो हमारे मॉडरेटर थे सभी सीरीज में वो उसी फील्ड में एक्सपर्ट थे। तो उन्होंने काफ़ी टाइम डिस्कशन में सबको क्वेश्चन आंसर में सबको फुलफिल किया और अच्छा से डिस्कशन हुआ। और ये ऑनलाइन सीरीज में हमको लगता काफ़ी इफेक्टिव रहा। और अभी जो शुरू करने जा रहे हैं हम लोग युवा क्लिप सीरीज एज वेल एज युवा क्रिप सीरीज, तो इसमें हम चाहेंगे कि पूरा इंडिया से सभी लोग मैक्सिमम संख्या में इन्वॉल्व हैं, और फ्रॉम ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, नॉर्थ टू साउथ, ईच एंड एवरी जोन से हमारे मेंबर इसमें इन्वॉल्व रहें, ताकि हम लोग ऑनलाइन से एकेडमिक का जो एक्टिविटी हो रहा है ISA का, उसका हम लोग लाभ उठाएं। धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Dr. Manoj. To make everyone aware, crisp or clip, the biggest advantage of this is we choose people from every zone. That is the crux of this series. Wherever from every zone, we give chance to everyone. It's not belonging to one state or one zone. Every zonal member is there in this series. Thank you, Dr. Manoj. Anybody else want to add something or suggest something? Dr. Bhaskar is there. Unmute yourself.
It is a very good starting of the clip and crisp series, and I think whole of the ISA community will take advantage of these both series.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Bhaskar. You are a wonderful person. Dr. Rekha Das madam also want to convey certain things. I think she is just madam unmute karke. Unmute kar li, madam unmute.
So I think the clip and the crisp series are excellent. It is giving a wonderful platform. The topics are very well chosen. Even the moderation that is being done has a very that should be very impactful. And that is what, where, as Dr. Divati, our president sir, said, we should have moderator from a senior person, as a senior person, where somebody with experience can give good inputs, and the junior ones who sometimes really feel little intimidated by the presence of senior, they feel they're important because they are given a platform to speak. So that breaks the interaction between a senior and a junior. So this series is giving an opportunity for an interaction between a senior and a junior, whereby it contributes to the overall growth of ISA. So it is a very wonderful initiative that was taken, and I think it should be continued and it should be popularized more. We have already seen that so many viewers are there for this in the YouTube channel, and we must also look at ways how can we further popularize it and make it more global. So that is what I would like to say. And I'm really very happy. And I would also like that this continues and is taken forward in a more prosperous way.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else want to convey or suggest something?
Dr. Nishant.
The scientific secretary has come, Isa Khan.
Yeah, I am Nishant. I said from the clip and the crisp series, the discussions that we've had, the choice of topics have been excellent. Actually, it is more the practical oriented and the practice oriented topics that have been kept, and I suggest that it should be more practice oriented rather than the more theoretical topics like we have been doing throughout, so that private practitioners are benefited. We have been doing that actually. So it has been very useful for the general public.
Yeah, idea is that only. Both the crisp and clip, they are 90% they are oriented toward the practitioners. So that is the main idea of that. Anybody else want to suggest or add to this? Yeah, Dr. Pankaj.
Yeah, I feel the series is doing pretty well. I've attended quite a few of them, and I feel they are very practical oriented, and that is what I feel all practitioners required. Even in Patna, my suggestion will be we should have more of take-home messages in all talks. I mean, usually many times it happens that the discussion is very theoretical, and it really the audience does not be happy to listen to theoretical stuff these days. Good take-home message will be a big thing if it can be organized in all talks and in all conferences for that matter. That's all. Otherwise, I feel it's a very nice series that has been started.
Yeah, Dr. Pankaj, if you skip the webinar series, if you see on the YouTube, there is not just one take-home message. There are multiple take-home messages in these type of series, because whatever the discussion, you may have a failed spinal, but you can have a multiple of conclusions how to go about it further and what are the practical, legal, clinical implications of those things. So I think the take-home messages, right thing you have pointed out. I think in the Patna also, Nishant make it sure that all the directives to the speakers, they should say take-home messages in every lecture.
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody else want to say or add to this? Chauba Singh, Dr. Chauba Singh, unmute yourself. Unmute. Your background noise is there. You have to come out from somewhere. Background noise is there. Now you can speak.
So let's increase more of the practical thing. They are going to really help in those working in the periphery. So they're in the middle of the night, and all other clinical scenarios. So I advise my PGTs to see the YouTubes again and again. See what we teach in that's more of a theory. But once you pass out and go from there, and you go to your practice or you go in the periphery, this is going to have this YouTube series. That's what I tell all my PGTs. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Chauba. And I think the endeavor of IS is very, very clear and sincere. There are many organizations, there are many agencies who are going to have this. They decided the classes or the lectures access to through the after paying something, paid lectures or series. But ISA's endeavor is providing free education to one and all in every part of the country, to every part of the globe. You can be anywhere in the world. You can always see the live telecast when you, or this recording of the YouTube. So it's a very, I think, generous on the part of ISA National. Anybody else want to add? Or then otherwise switch back to Dr. Manisha and Divetya sir. So, Dr. Manisha, you conclude the 3 inaugurations. Then we will have a final thing from Dr. Divetya sir.
It was very nice of President sir, Secretary sir, Dr. Bhimeshwar sir, Dr. Naveen Malhotra to contribute for our ISA podcast series. And I think I request Dr. Bajwa to get it recorded, the audio recording, and get it circulated, because I think it was a talk from the heart. There was no formal discussion. It was all the questions were asked and the answers were given right from the heart by all the members, all the leaders. So I request Dr. Bajwa to make it available, the audio recording, to all the members. And yes, as you all said, the ISA Crisp series as well as the ISA Clip series are doing wonderful. They have been acknowledged by many of our members whenever they watch it. And if you look at the YouTube viewers, you can realize that many members are watching it even after the program is like live stream. Maybe after 1.5 years also, if they face such kind of clinical dilemmas, they watch it and the viewers are increasing day by day. So I myself, as a governing council member, thank the president as well as secretary sir as well as the academic chair for giving me opportunity to coordinate ISA Crisp series and podcast series. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Manisha. I think if somebody wants to look back, as Dr. Divetya sir said in his opening remarks about this reluctance to join the ISA when he was going to be editor. And on 24th of November, when he will be installed as a past president, he will look back for the entire year. Then he will come to know that this year, the team which had worked, if he compares with all the previous teams, he will definitely feel the difference he has made as a president. That I am sure of. I will be enumerating those points on the 24th of the November, because he may not be remembering everything. I know what to be enumerated and how the thing, you say the US once had a basketball team, the dream team, which was never unbeatable. So I think by the time Dr. Divetya sir is installed as a past president, I will convey to him that you had a dream team which carried, because the way he had seen the obstacle during this year and the way we have overcome, the way we have been so sincere, we have been so, meticulous in handling those things. I am saying the leader has to lead from the front. That's how Dr. Divetya has led the entire society over the last 1 year. And the people like me, Dr. Rekhadas was mentioning how you get encouraged. I get encouraged by his demeanor. I get encouraged by his conduct. I get encouraged by his wisdom. So these are the things you get encouraged. These are abstract things. You don't say that somebody encourages with like that. Oh, you do this like that. You should be doing like that. It's the indirect. It's the invaluable things you imbibe from the person's conduct and its values for life, for society, for friends. Is a neutrality in the whole scenarios. That's how you become a true leader. So I will enumerate those points on 24th of November during the valedictory function. In the meanwhile, Dr. Divatya sir, you conclude this meeting. So unmute yourself, sir.
Dr. Bajwa.
Dr. Bajwa. So I think while I wait for 24th November, it is now my pleasant duty on 12th October to conclude today's program. And it was the 3rd day of our ISA week. And thank you very much for joining. I know there are very few people, but we'll thank whoever has joined. And Dr. Manisha and Dr. Madhuri, and of course, Dr. Manoj and Dr. Bajwa for all the hard work, and Dr. Rekha for all the hard work that they've done in this program. And tomorrow we'll meet again at 6 p.m. and we will be inaugurating one more very, very important initiative of the ISA, and a very important educational initiative, which is going to take place. It's going to happen. The actual program is going to happen in Pune tomorrow morning at Bharati Vidyapit. And we will formally ask that team to describe their program, their initiative, and we will formally launch it in the evening tomorrow. Yeah, so please join us again tomorrow at 6 p.m. Thank you all once again. Long live ISA.